Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games, I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Now I must continue off the reviews for Spider-Man episode 21, chat. The Night of the Hunters, chat. It's Hunter v. Hunter and the Big Apple, chat. We got a lot of people involved, a lot of players involved. We got fucking Spider-Man, also known now as Man-Spider. Along with the Punisher, chat, Morbius, and reintroducing, chat, one Sergei Kravinoff, Kraven the Hunter. And he's not a bad guy this time, which I'm like, you know what, this is really inspired take on Kraven. I dig it. Like, I didn't particularly like his first appearance in this show. I was like, you know what, you're doing something interesting here. But chat, we're opening up to where we last. Actually, let me do a little retroactive spiel to kind of tell you where we were. So chat, Spider-Man, he's going through mutation things. He's going through puberty, chat, except he's growing arms. He's growing arms right now, and it's not going well. He took the serum that Dr. Crawford gave him, and she told him, like, listen, don't take this yet. But he was fucking flipping out and flipping deaths over. She's like, fine, take it, just don't destroy my shit. And he drunk that shit, chat, and now he is mutated. He's got additional arms, and he's fighting Michael Morbius, and he was exposed to the radioactive spider blood. Except a bat got in there, and then Spider-Man's just having big issues, chat. And now he's also being pursued by the Punisher because Spider-Man's being blamed for all of Morbius's attacks on the population of New York City. As the last time that we found Spider-Man, chat, he's getting the shit, his fucking teeth kicked in, his shit kicked in by one Frank Castle, and he throws him in, he falls into like a, like a military barracks, and that's when he suddenly starts to mutate, chat. He's going through puberty really fucking quick, and he becomes the Man-Spider. Now, chat, when I saw this, as, my God, I must have been like, 8 or 7 years old, it freaked me the fuck out. When he transformed into this thing, I was like, oh my God, like, it was legitimately scaring me. I was like, and then you look back at the show, it's like, oh, it's so fucking goofy how they constantly reuse footage and the dialogue and things and the voice acting, but I'm like, that was, I bet the censors were like, okay, can we do this? Can we actually make this work? And it scared me as a kid, chat, I'm not gonna lie. And when the Punisher's like, I'm gonna get you, Spider-Man, he's got a fucking gun. I love the Punisher too. It's very weird that they brought the Punisher into this and in the show, because you never, like, he uses guns, chat, but like it's laser guns or nets. No, it's not even laser guns. He uses like splooge guns that fire the same webbing that Spider-Man does, and net guns. Even though it's been established, oh, prank, you know, and I love it too, like how the original episode opens up, the one before this one, his buddy Microchip says, now Frank, you're gonna want to handle this situation differently. Let's not use any lethal tactics against Spider-Man. Let's all use non-lethal. And Frank goes, and Frank Castle, the Punisher, be like, fuck that, I'm gonna shoot him dead. And this one, Frank goes, you know what? You got a good point. It's not good to use guns all the time. It's like, bullshit. I don't believe you, Frank. But that's what he's doing, chat. But his fucking gloves are off, and he's got even a bigger net gun. And he goes in there, chat, and he's looking for Spider-Man, but he does find him, but not what he was expecting, chat, because he sees this monstrous gray spider abomination just coming at him. And chat, if I saw this, I would fucking shit myself. I'd be like, ah! I'd just be shitting and pissing everywhere. I'd be crying. I'd be like, oh my God, it's my worst nightmare, chat. And he goes, oh Jesus! And he brings up his gun, chat, but because of the censors, fucking Man-Spider knocks the gun away, and he can't shoot it. And Punisher just goes, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And Spider-Man just fucking throwing the Punisher around. He's just screaming for his life, help me, someone help me, please. And he calls, wait, I have Battle Van, he's my buddy. Battle Van, activate sequence 1, 2, 3, 4. And Battle Van goes, giant Man-Spider attack, gotcha, Frank. And it fucking rolls on up, chat. And Punisher, he just fucking, he's getting all webbed up too. He's like, Jesus Christ, let me in. He jumps in there, chat. You know, fucking Man-Spider's trying to get in there, but it fucking drives off. and the barracks is on fire, and Microchip is like, what the fuck happened? It's the giant man spider, man. We need all the weapons. All the weapons we have, we need it to kill this thing. Meanwhile, we got this army guy who's waking up. He's like, what's going on? And he sees this giant man spider just like on the ceiling going, blah. And he goes, ah! And Peter just jumps on him and just tears him apart, chat. Just eats all of his innards. All of his insides become his outsides because he is the man spider. And he lays his eggs inside of him, chat, and he grows off into the night. And then later, the fucking press shows up. The guy's not dead. He didn't get eggs laid inside of him. And he goes, I saw it looked like Spider-Man. But it also wasn't Spider-Man. It was so bizarre. And he describes the creature. They got a perfect drawing of it. And I love it, chat. This is dumb. Because now the press is talking about, and they're like, yes, according to this private, he saw a creature that resembles Spider-Man. One might say it is now a man spider. It's like, what? I was like, okay, just reverse it. It's a man spider now, chap. That's what happens. And it's like it's believed that by the NYPD and federal authorities that this man spider is responsible for the missing missing students at ESU, that is Empire State University. Everyone's fucking freaking out. Meanwhile, we all know it's fucking Morbius. He's draining people of their sweet, delicious plasma. That's sweet, that's having a good time. Meanwhile, Dr. Crawford, she sees this on the tube and she goes, fuck, this isn't good. And she calls Sergey. She's like, Sergey, are you here yet? Are you here? And he's like, I am here, beloved. And she goes to the airport to pick him up. And she's like, oh, thank God you're here, Kraven. Oh, listen, it is rough right now. Spider-Man, he took the serum. You need to help him. And I'll admit this. I really like what they do with Kraven here. Because he's like, you know what? Spider-Man helped me. He made me realize what I was doing was wrong. I will happily help him. Spider-Man's a friend of mine. I thought that was kind of inspired. I think it's the last time we actually see Kraven the Hunter. I don't know if he appears again in the series. So this might be the last time. Only 2 episodes, Chef. It's kind of it's disappointing. And she goes, yes, by the way, Kraven, did you bring your ceremonial hunting outfit? And he goes, does a lion hunt without its mane? And first of all, Kraven, apparently you don't know shit about lions. The female lions do the hunting. The males, they're just fucking waiting at back of the pride, enjoying themselves and fucking schmooching and having sex with all the other females. They don't do shit. So Kraven doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that right now. And he gets all dolled up in his ceremonial gear. He gives a big old smooch to Dr. Crawford, Chet, his Calypso, as he says, his little Calypso, and he goes off into the night. Meanwhile, we cut back to the Punisher who's talking to Microchip, and I love this chat. Because Microchip's like, listen, you've never gone up against something like this before, Frank. Listen, we go after criminals and gangsters and shit. This is a literal Spider-Man abomination, okay? We're not equipped for this. And Frank is not listening to a single fucking... Oh, you appeared again? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, no, everything's fine. Okay, just want to make sure. You little Spider-Man abomination. And Frank is not hearing a single goddamn word that he's saying. He's having a flashback. He's like, stop! Flashback time! And then, chat, we just cut... It's this weird... Oh, God, it's so bad. Where they change the opacity of the image, and it goes back and forth, and it's just like, oh, man, you spent... Guess when you realize, chat, they spend all their money on this episode... on the big man spider parts, because everything that doesn't have man spider in it looks like shit. You get this weird opacity where it's Punisher, and it cuts to this image shot of this kite. It's this kite floating in the sky, and Punisher's like, I sure love the shit out of that kite. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, Microchip, are you talking? I was having a flashback about my kite. And he goes, what? What are you doing? He's like, don't worry. I'm going to go after the man spider and take him down. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Fucking gets an even bigger net gun, chat. It's the biggest of them all. And also we cut back to Man Spider chat, and see, he's like Peter Parker's still in there. He's remembering the places that he's been to. Like he goes to Aunt May's place, and he's like looking through the window and shit. And she goes, and she fucking freaks out. Peter, is that you? And he fucking runs away. Mary Jane, she slept over at Aunt May's, and I love it too. Because I think it was like Mary Jane slept for 24 hours, and she wakes up, and Aunt May, I love it, Aunt May is just standing right in front of her, looking down at her like this the entire time. And she goes, oh, Jesus, Aunt May. She goes, oh, you're awake. It's like, what was she about to do to Mary Jane? It was creepy as fuck. Watch the episode, chat. Go to the part where Aunt May's just standing directly over and just looking at her. It's so weird. The perspective is so bizarre. Creepy. And she goes, oh, I didn't mean to sleep all night. She goes, you slept for 24 hours. She said, really? Oh, geez, where's Peter? She said, well, I don't know where he is. I'm going to go to the police. Okay? Because there is that fucking Spider-Man, that bastard. People are saying he's draining the sweet essence from everyone across New York City. And I want to make sure they don't got Peter. Because I know he's always going after Spider-Man for those pictures, working for the Daily Bugle. So I'm going, I have to leave. And she goes, okay, I'm going to head over to Harry Osborn. And fucking Mary, I love it. I'm going to go to Harry's place. Because maybe he saw Spider-Man. And so, and Peter's just watching this being a fucking creeper chance, man. He's being a man spider. And he fucking follows MJ. Also, he runs across a girl who he thinks is MJ, chat, and he drools on her and her face melts off. That happens. But then we follow MJ, chat. She goes to Harry's place. Now, chat, it was established in a previous episode that Harry Osborn, he's in a couple episodes, chat. Like, the last time we saw him was during the original Hobgoblin arc in Season 1, I believe. Hobgoblin Part 1 and Part 2. And the reason why he gets involved with that is because he asks Peter to be his roommate. And Peter says directly, Harry, we don't really know each other all that well. Why do you want me to be your roommate? Okay. And then when Mary Jane goes to Harry's house chat, she goes, Harry, you're Peter's best friend. First of all, that is a huge discrepancy. They barely knew each other. So, like, what are you talking about? He's your best friend. Don't start going willy-nilly, you messing with the timeline. Come on now. I guess maybe they bonded over that horrific experience with the Hobgoblin chat. I don't know. And he's like, oh, I mean, I haven't heard from him. I'm trying to call him, but I haven't got nothing. And then fucking, Man Spider shows up. And Mary Jo's like, what the fuck is that? And Harry, fucking brave Harry, chat. The courage of a lion, one might say. I'll give it to Harry, Chase. Like, get away from her. And he fucking throws himself at Man Spider, and he just fucking backhands Harry Osborn. She fucking head hits the wall, severely concussed, profusely bleeding, deaf in one ear, mop, and man just like, get out of here, leave us. He's like, oh, and he runs away. And she goes over to Harry, goes, oh, what happened? And she goes, he just left. And I had the weirdest feeling, Harry, as he's just fucking concussed in the ground, not really hearing anything. She goes, I think he recognized me. Yeah, I mean, he did, but it's just like, out of all the things, that's what it was. Okay, sure. And so eventually, chat, we cut back to Man Spider, and he's doing Man Spider things. He's crawling around New York City. Kraven, he's also hunting him down. He's figuring out, it's like, okay, clearly he's formed a nest somewhere. And so I gotta track him. And, Spider-Man's taking people and he's draining them of their juices and shit. And he's made a giant web in some underground complex. He's like, okay, that's interesting. But eventually he's out and about, chat. And who shows up? The Punisher. The Punisher, he's got an even bigger net gun, chat. It's like quadruple big. And he shoots it. And Spider-Man's like, I don't like nets. It's his one weakness, chat. He also hits him with some splooge, some good old splooge. And it's like, it's time to say goodbye, Spider-Man. And he pulls out his gun, the actual gun, chat, actual gun. But then who fucking comes to save the day, chat? Kraven the Hunter. And what's Kraven's go-to move in the fight, chat? Go back to my Kraven the Hunter episode, chat, when I did the review. He loves to hug people, and he does it. He comes up behind the Punisher, and he gives him a big old bear hug. And the gun, chat, typical, knocked away. Knocked away yet again. And he goes, who the hell are you? I am Kraven the Hunter. And they start hugging each other, and Spider-Man's just like, I gotta get out of here. And so he vomits his acidic spittle onto himself, chat, and onto the net, and he gets the fuck out, and he starts swinging away. But Kraven and Punisher, they're fighting, and they're wrestling, and Punisher's like, no! And Kraven's like, it's getting away! And he fires another net at the Kraven. And Kraven's like, you do not hunt for sport, you hunt for revenge. That is the worst thing to do. And then Punisher just has another flashback to the Kite again, chat. Got the opacity going back and forth, and it's like, the Kite. And then and he's like, I need to leave. And he gets going. He hops back in the battle van because he put a little tracer on the Man Spider. And Kraven, he busts out. He busts out of that net real quick, and he goes over to the spot where Spider-Man was trapped by the net. And he notices there's this substance, this earthy substance. He's like, he smells it. It's like, yep, that's shit. That's spider shit. He's like, I know where it is. And he goes off, chat. Maybe he found the lair of the man spider. Also, Morbius is around. I think Morbius shows. Oh, yeah, I think Morbius was here, too. While this whole big fight was going on, Morbius is fucking around with people. And he tried to go to Deborah Whitman for help, and she's like, she's all freaked out. She asked Flash Thompson for help. Flash, good guy Flash. Yeah, he even said, you know what, this whole thing about the man spider, it's fucking fake news. Terrible fake news, trying to go after my main man, Spider-Man. And he goes in there, and he sees the man spider. He's like, whoa! He protects Deborah Whitman. She actually tries to protect her. He's like, get away from her. And he leaves. Man Spider leaves. But then Morbius is there. And Morbius, he drains the shit out of Flash Thompson. And then maybe that's when Man Spider comes in. So Morbius is there, chat, drains the sweet essence from Flash Thompson. Man Spider gets in there. He beats the shit out of Morbius, chat, and they all run off. Deborah Whitman goes to Flash, helps him, gets him to the hospital, chat. But Flash was very good guy here. He was a good guy, chat. He was doing the best that he possibly could, helping Deborah Whitman, defending Spider-Man. In all this trouble, chat, got his fucking plasma drained by Michael Morbius. And Michael Morbius is like, I gotta leave now. This is too many characters for me. See you later. See you in the next episode. So he goes off. And then, that's when Punisher is still tracking Spider-Man. He's in his good old battle van, and he's like, I don't know where he is. And then all the fucking sudden, chat, it's pouring rain in New York, chat, and he's like, wait a minute, he's on top of me! And Spider-Man just fucking jumps on top of the van, chat, uses all of his fucking body weight, and kicks the shit out of that thing, and that thing tumbles off a fucking ravine. And Battle Van is no more, chat. It fucking crunches on the ground. Punisher's trying to get out of that, and it fucking explodes. It blasts Punisher, hits the cliffside. He's like, fuck. And then illuminated by the fires of Battle Van. R.I.P. Can we get some F's for Battle Van in the chat here? Did Chris see the DT stream of the Hoybot playing Last of Us Part 2? I did not. I did not see that at all. No. Where was I? Yeah, okay, so he's illuminated by the fire and shit, and Punisher's like, jeez, and Man Spider gets on top of the Punisher, chat, and he begins to splooge on him, the splooge, the webbing splooge, and he wraps him up, chat, and he takes him to his lair, and that's where we see Punisher. He's all wriggling, trying to get out, chat, but a knife comes off screen. Oh no, but it's okay, and he's cut down. And he gets the spider splooge just cut off his face. And it's Kraven. And Kraven's like, listen, let's work together. Shut the fuck up. We can get out of here alive. And his Punisher Frank Castle's like, you're not going to get an argument from me. And he frees him. And they're walking around trying to walk out. He's like, this is lair. He's like, yeah, this is lair. And then Punisher's like, what's this? He notices a camera, chat, on a piece of web, and he grabs it and he pulls on it. He's like, Kraven, pretty cool scene. Kraven's like, don't move the web. And the Man Spider's like, Man Spider, because he felt the vibration. He felt the vibration, chat. And he goes right at fucking Kraven, fucking hits him, chat. Punisher goes after Punisher, chat. But Punisher's got the upper hand, chat. He uses one of his battle. I think he uses something like a dart or something on him, and Man Spider's like all knocked out, and Punisher grabs his gun, chat, and he's aiming it right at Spider-Man's head, Man Spider's head, and Kraven's like, don't do it, no, and he's like, why? And then Dr. Crawford comes in, chat. She's there. She's like, because he wasn't responsible for any of the attacks on these people. He didn't do it. He's undergoing a mutation, but it wasn't him. She's like, explain yourselves. And he's like, it was a vampire man that did it. He was not responsible. He's mutated. He took a serum, but I have she got the cure now, chat. And she's like, listen, all right, you should know better than to judge people. All right, he's gone through an incredibly traumatic thing. This is not who he is. And I know everything about you, Frank Castle. I know who you are. I remember when your Kite died. And then, chat, the opacity begins to change, and Frank remembers that good old Kite. And we hear some people scream in the background, some gunshots and shit. I don't know what that has to do with anything, chat, but it's Kite. We see that Kite, and it falls to the ground. It falls into a mud puddle, chat. And we see that as the Kite falls into the mud puddle, chat, it begins to form into the Punisher skull. And so due to the death of his Kite, chat, he decided to do a one-man war on crime. Also, his wife and 2 children were also murdered, chat, but we didn't see that. We just saw his Kite die. So, you could say what was more important to him. Eventually, then he's like, I won't shoot him. And he throws his gun away again for like the 5th time. And Dr. Crawford administers the serum to the man spider chat, Kraven, and Punisher hold him down, and he begins to change back into Peter Parker chat. And she says, Punisher, bring me, because Punisher's like wears his overcoat for most of the episode, give me your coat. And he's like, why? Because he hides his face. And for a reason, and we should give him that respect. So they put it on top of him, chat, also to hide the animation of him morphing. I know what you were doing. I know what you're doing, Marvel. And so they also, Punisher said, I also have his mask. And he gives him the mask and puts it on Spider-Man. And he turns back into Peter Parker. He's fine. He's cured, chat. He's doing much better. But he sees Punisher. He's like, it's my trigger. And she's like, don't worry. He helped you. And Punisher, and the weirdest thing, chat, is just smiling. A big old bright-eyed smile from Punisher. And he's like, oh, thanks, Skull Guy. He's like, no problem, Spider-Man. Here to help. And they're all about to leave. But, like, Punisher, he's about to walk off. But Kraven says, where are you going? And he's like, I have other criminals to take down. He's like, vengeance will never fill that hole. And he's like, I know, but I want to make sure some people are safe in this world. And I know my methods are frowned upon, but it's all I know. And Kraven goes, well, you have my respect. You did the right thing today. And fucking Kraven and Punisher are shaking. It's a very interesting take on Kraven. I actually like it. I dig this take on him. But Punisher has a question. So, where are we? And when we learn, Chad, he's like, oh, we're underneath the World Trade Center. I was like, oh, shit. It's like, the World Trade Center, how do you know he was underneath here? And he goes, oh, let me show you. I noticed that there was a very specific substance that Spider-Man left. It looked like some dirt. Actually, what it was from, it was black powder. Because as you know, chat, in the 1990s, I believe 91, 92, there was a terrorist attack on the World Trade Center in the basement levels. We were actually in the garage portion of the World Trade Center, the underground parking, where a bomb went off. A fairly big one. And that's where he is. And it's like, this is the same powder from that attack on the World Trade Center. I was like, wow, you're bringing in some real shit into here. But it's just like, wow, we've never figured it out. It's like, hey, man, that's why I'm here. And then eventually, chat, Dr. Crawford and Kraven, they go home and they start baiting, they start smooching, chat. And he did a good job. Kraven did a good job. Can we get some fucking hands for Kraven the Hunter, chat? Get some hands for Kraven. Punisher, he goes and kills people, but then we see Spider-Man chat, and he says, you know what? Today's gonna be a great day. Never mind the fact that Michael Morbius is still draining kids of their sweet essence and plasma, but he's like, no, I'm gonna make this a good day for me. And he fucking swings off, chat. And that, my friends, is Spider-Man, episode 21, Hunters, Night of the Hunters, chat. Hunter v. Hunter. It was very fun. Yeah, there we go. I like the claps, chat. Very nice.